is Trinity Update and welcome. Today we're going to be talking about Nourish Trinidad and Tobago, Nourish TT, Nourish Trinidad and Tobago. I prefer to say it that way because I think we're in a big, big crisis here in Trinidad when we look at the obesity, when we look at the bad eating, and so that we're having. And we have with us the two directors and co-founders of Nourish TT, Krista Santos. Krista, welcome. And we have Joanna Nelson. Two young people. Welcome to the program.
Thank you for having
two
us.
young people who really, they're doing something that I think so many of us have been thinking about. We've been saying, why is this happening in our country that there's so much wastage of food on one side, and on the other side there's so many hungry people and so many organizations begging for food all over for us to donate food to them. And these young people have come together and put a program together. So it's going to be really an interesting half an hour. Stay with us as we talk to Krista and Joanna about Nourish TT. First of all, I just want to ask you, tell me, what is Nourish TT? Let's just start from there. What is Nourish TT?
So Nourish is essentially a service that connects the food industry to NGOs and charities in the community. And we do that using our website and our mobile application for smartphones. So basically, instead of food companies having to call up various different charities and find a place for the food that they want to give away, they just post the food on our website. It's all secure and confidential. Charities are immediately notified. All donations are confidential, so they don't know who is providing the food. We provide the collection and delivery service.
Mm-hmm. So let's say a provider, a grocery, a supermarket has excess food. They just put it on your website. Just call your website, go onto your website or call your mobile.
They need to be registered with us, so that's the first thing.
You need to be registered.
You need to be within the group, and then you have a username and password. You have to log into it. You can't call up. You need to log in. All the data is then tracked, so that's why it needs to be done on the website. They put in the best before date, the amount of grams of food in terms of each item, and once they press post, immediately a notification is sent to the NGOs and charities that we work with.
Okay, and then they know that all of this food is available.
And they know that they know when they need to order it by, and they know when it's best before.
Yeah. So, Joanna, I guess you have a lot of checks and balances in place with this in terms of expired foods and so,
Yeah, well, it's not expired food. It's it's surplus food. So for a variety of different reasons, these
and
food
I think it's
companies,
important that our viewers understand that it's surplus food and not expired food.
Yes. So for a variety of reasons, these food companies would have surplus food, and we get that food. But before they get our username and password, we also sign contracts. And we sign contracts with both the NGOs and the food companies, and then we put them into our system. And then once they have the excess food, they go on and they post it, and that's where the charities now come in and order.
So a lot of the food, and what has the feedback been like for you?
The feedback has been incredible. We have the support of Massey Stores, which obviously is, probably the only truly nationwide supermarket we have in TNT. And then we have a distributor called Fine Line Distributors. And then on the charity side, we have Living Water Community, of course. We have Christ Child Convalescent Home, and we also have Feel. And the feedback's been great. We actually had our sort of official launch last week, Thursday. Having been operating since February this year, we sort of went public with it last week.
I suppose you worked out all the details.
Correct.
Correct. We had all the teething issues and the tweaks. So, as with any, startup business, there were things that we had to work through, and now we feel pretty confident. So we invited the food industry to that, and the feedback from that has been fantastic. So we have essentially a waiting list now where we're slowly bringing new food companies and also new NGOs on board.
How did you both, because you're both young, vibrant ladies, how did you get into this project? What was the genesis? What was your thinking?
Well, so we met at the Startup Weekend with actually our other co-founders, who I should name at this point, Nisha Rambarak and Stephen Mudu. And I guess the idea sort of came from me, although everybody was already passionate about this, and that's why we, gelled so quickly. So I had been at a local gym, and I happened to be overlooking one of the local supermarkets. And I was running on the treadmill, and I saw all this food being thrown away. And that's when it just hit me. And I realized that there was obviously an issue where these food companies couldn't connect or didn't have the time to connect for whatever reason to charities in the community. And I thought, surely this is something that we could fix using technology. And I just happened to be going to Startup Weekend that day. And that's where I met Joanna.
What is Startup Weekend? So
Startup Weekend is an event where young people in the community, it doesn't have to be young, any age really, come together. In this case, the theme of Startup Weekend last year was Startup Weekend to improve lives. And the idea was to do something, use technology as a force for good in your community. And because I was going there, I guess that's where my head was. When I saw that, it immediately came to me that this is the idea I need to pitch. And when I went, everybody had similar kinds of thoughts in mind. Some of us were pitching slightly similar things, and the idea took off from there. And we've developed it over the weekend, and we set up the company non-profit within the next 2 or 3 weeks. We had it.
And what was it like getting donors like Massey stores and so? What was it like? Was it easy?
Well, okay, so when we started building the business, in Startup Weekend, we all met. This was the first time we were actually meeting. We did not know each other, but it's something that Krista pitched the idea, and we decided to join up with her, right, and let's develop this idea. So we worked over the weekend. It's one weekend. So you literally meet everybody on Friday night, and on Sunday you have to present to the judges. We did that. So we quickly worked on the Saturday. We were calling up food companies. We were calling up charities to kind of get an idea of what's really going on, if this is something that would interest them. And some companies did express interest. Of course, charities did express interest as well. And I guess once we started really doing research over that weekend, and we saw the kind of statistics for Trinidad, we couldn't look back. We just had to move forward.
Tell me a little bit about these statistics.
Well, I'm not sure if they played the video yet.
No, they haven't.
Okay. So according to the FAO.
Yeah, it's the United Nations FAO.
Trinidad has 100,000 persons.
It's over 100,000 persons. 7.4% of the TNT population suffers with hunger. And that compares to a regional average for Latin America and the Caribbean of 5.5%. So, and that's despite the fact...
So we're just a little bit above.
We're above. And that's despite the fact that Trinidad's GDP per capita is more than double the regional average. So there's clearly a mismatch there. And then in terms of food waste, the UN FAO estimates that if Trinidadian businesses just in the retail sector were to stop wasting food, there would be no hunger in Trinidad and Tobago. Far less looking higher up the chain at the farms and the distributor level and the manufacturer level. So this is clearly an issue that we can solve, and we felt confident of that the more research we did.
And it's an international thing right now. People are looking at that, and I know in countries like France and so they are going that their groceries are not allowed to throw away food at all, which is really something, because there is hunger internationally all over the world, and so much food is being dumped for the sake of profit and so on.
Well, I mean, I think where we'd like to go with this is we'd like this to be a sort of a mantle that the private sector takes up voluntarily. So that's why we're working with the private sector, and we don't have to resort to legislation. But that's great. In the UK, for instance, most of the major supermarkets partner with companies just like Novrish, non-profit organizations that take the food and give it to charities. So that's our goal.
Well, I know we have a little clip, so perhaps we just wait. We have a little clip showing your company and then some of the things that you do, and I know at the end of the program we have another clip which is quite good as well. So we're just going to break for the clip, and then we'll be right back.
100,000 people in Trinidad and Tobago are afflicted with hunger. Yet, enough food is lost in retailing alone to feed all of them. In fact, Trinidad and Tobago is the most wasteful country per urban capita in the world. Novrish believes that good food should never be thrown away. Instead, it should be given to people in need. Our mission is to end hunger and reduce food waste in Trinidad and Tobago. Here's how Novrish works. Instead of throwing away excess but perfectly good food, companies can post food donations to the Nourish website. Charities place orders. Nourish collects and delivers to charities. Charities ensure that nourishing food gets to people who are most in need. Where possible, donated food that cannot be eaten will be used by local composting farms, enabling farmers to use fewer harmful pesticides to grow the food we eat. Find out more on our website and sign up to join the Nourish movement. Nourish, bringing an end to hunger while reducing food waste in Trinidad and Tobago.
By the way, I think you have a lovely logo. It's fantastic. Really pretty logo.
It was designed by Debbie Booz.
Okay.
So I have to give her a thank you.
Really nice logo. I get the impression from looking at that it's just fresh foods that you're looking for. What is it like if I had a big party or I have a big event and nobody turned up and I have all this food? Is that part of Nourish, TT?
At the moment, it's not. We don't just take fresh food. We take fresh fruits and vegetables, and we take dry goods, so packaged items that have a best before date but not a hard expiry date and need to be chilled, if you see what I mean. So we're not taking cooked food because that sort of food has a very short shelf life, and
storage would be a problem.
Storage is an issue, and we don't even store food. We just take it straight from one location to the other. But we wouldn't feel comfortable with our current vehicle using that. But eventually we might get there because other companies do that. But that's further down the line.
Yeah, that's further down the line. So items you would take would be like fresh vegetables and so with a best before date.
And most fruits and vegetables, especially sold locally, they don't have a hard best before date actually. It's more about the look of it, and if something is soft, or if there's if it's soggy in the case of lettuce and things like that. So the supermarket will give a view on maybe it has 3 days of life or whatever it is. And the charities that we work with are used to dealing with this kind of food. So whether in the case of vegetables they blanch it and freeze it, or in the case of a soup kitchen they serve the food that day or the next day. It's given to people who can use the food quickly.
I think it's a psychological thing because you buy these food, and I think in some countries they call it ugly food, which I think they really should have come up with a better marketing title for that. They call it ugly food. But for so many of us, we buy foods like, for example, I would buy my vegetables and so on a Saturday. And by Friday, it's really not. It's looking like ugly food. Yes. But I still prepare it because it's fine. Nothing is wrong with it. But you psychologically, you won't go into the supermarket and pick it up looking like that.
Yes, exactly.
But if it's in your refrigerator,
you would use that.
Yes.
And there's also the food that it actually starts off being ugly in that it doesn't fit you go into certain supermarkets and the cucumbers look perfect. They don't have the shriveled edges, and they don't have funny shapes. And depending on where you buy food, they don't accept that kind of food. So you do get surplus of ugly food as well, which is something that we would like to
I really would prefer us to use another term than ugly food. Because, earlier, before the program started, you were telling me that you're very much into organic farming and you're very excited about that. And organic foods really do not look,
they taste
plastic. They don't look plastic. Sometimes you buy an apple and it's just like the most perfect apple you've ever seen. And you cut into it and it's totally rotten on the inside. Or something like that.
Yes.
But I think organic foods are just built. Maybe you should tell us a little bit about organic foods.
Okay. Well, I actually own a cafe. It's called Ambrosia Nectar Cafe in Shogunas, and we do specialize in organic and natural foods.
Okay.
So all the food that we cook is either organic or natural. We don't use heavily processed ingredients at all. So I am supported by local farmers here in Trinidad who grow food organically. So most of the fresh product that we get, it's local. Things that we use that cannot be grown in Trinidad, we will have to import it. But most of the fresh produce, we have farmers in Trinidad, and some people don't know that we have farmers in Trinidad who grow their own kale, who grew their own pineapples.
And I think it's a trend that's happening in Trinidad now with the green markets, the farmers market, where it just goes from the market to you, from the farmer themselves to you, rather than going through the process of. So they do have the farmers markets now, and when you go there, really, it's not very, it's not perfectly. It doesn't look like
I think
well made up food.
No, it's pretty. As I told you earlier, when I'm on a farm, I'm like a kid in a candy store. So,
and And that brings us to the next question, because I was just wondering with all of this, what as one of our past politicians said, what's in it for you? How do you benefit from all of this? How does Novrish TT benefit from all of this?
Yeah, so in terms of we have 8 directors, 4 executives, so the 4 who began at Startup Weekend and 4 non-executive. Financially, we don't benefit in any way. Nobody is paid by Novrish. Actually, we donate money to Novrish. Also, to keep Novrish going, we actually get, Novrish receives a fee, a monthly or quarterly fee, depending on the type of food company it is, from the food companies we work with. But we don't get anything out of it, except that, and this I'm understating it, we get the amazing satisfaction of doing something, making a difference in our community, in our country. And actually solving an issue is extremely satisfying. So we get that.
So it's total, really, charity.
It's
that
charity.
you do.
It's charity work. Yeah.
Our mission is to reduce hunger and end waste.
That is amazing, really, that's amazing, especially for young people who start a business. And so often now it's, and even our leadership in Trinidad is a very kind of plutocratic society where people, how do you make money? Who gets more money? Who is making money? And how do you know? So it's really admirable that you would do something like this. So if I am, let's say, the Massey stores, we have all this surplus food to donate, and we put it through the website, and it goes to an NGO. Let's say it goes to Living Water. So Living Water picks it up on the website.
We pick it up.
You pick it up.
Yeah. So Living Water orders what they want.
So they see it on the website.
They see it on the website.
And they decide they want this.
Yes, they want this. They order it. As soon as the food is ordered, so say the food was coming from Massey Maraval, and Massey may have posted 150 items or 250 items. Once the order has been filled, which happens pretty quickly, as you can imagine, because it's free food and it's good food, we will then arrange a collection and delivery. And depending on how busy we are and how many other deliveries we have, that might happen the next day. It might happen in 2 days.
So Novrish TT organizes the collection.
Yes.
So it's not Living Water who will organize the collection.
We do it.
And all of this is done pure charity.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So the charities don't pay anything, but as I said, the food donors pay a fee, and by using a local
so the food
courier.
donors would pay a fee.
The food donors pay a fee. Yeah, so they pay a fee to be involved in Novrish. Out of that, we take the food away from them. They also get the CSR benefits, so we let them know how much food they're donating and how that translates in terms of meals provided. So just to give you an idea, we started operating at the end of February after Carnival this year. In the last 4 months, we have redistributed enough food to provide over 50,000 meals to people in need. So we are able to give those stats to the companies that we work with and show them, and actual cost savings as well. So, we actually get all the retail prices of the items that we donate. So we have actually saved the 3 charities, over $1 million TT dollars. So again, that is information that we provide, and that is really useful information to these companies that we work with, because their public image is very important. They want to be seen as a company with a social conscience, doing something for their community. So it's a win-win situation.
And what is your vision for your future? What do you see happening?
We just see this being a national food rescue service. So currently, at the moment, we're really just operating sort of in the east-west corridor. We want to go throughout the country and into Tobago. And then after that, who knows, we might go further afield. But we really want to create a solution where if there's waste, there's only waste because the food has already gone bad and we weren't able to rescue it. But our ideal is to identify food surplus before it becomes food waste, always. And
do you have statistics as to exactly where, you have 100,000 people in Trinidad and Tobago. Do you have any statistics as to where they are?
No, we don't, is the short answer. From speaking to Dr. Fletcher Paul, who is our keynote speaker at the launch, she's the UN FAO country rep for Trinidad and Suriname, TNC and Suriname. She has advised that it tends to be these pockets of poverty and hunger, food poverty and hunger. So it isn't necessarily in one specific place, but I think we sort of know, where the deprived areas are, and the idea is, to kind of target those areas.
And I guess I guess communities like Living Water and Christchurch and so would know. But Christchurch has a fixture, but they would know.
Yeah, and they do help
areas
people in their community as well. So although it's an orphanage, they actually do know the families in their community that really need help, and they do that.
So all of the directors, you all, well, as I know Joanna said, she also has a business. So you all have your jobs besides.
Yes.
We all have full-time jobs.
You all
I have my cafe.
jobs.
I have my full-time job.
Okay.
Right? And we all do.
So Jo has essentially 2 jobs because she has her cafe and she's an employee at an oil and gas company. Likewise, Nisha is an employee at an oil and gas company. She's an engineer. Stephen is a software developer and he's doing a law degree. And he's our software developer. Okay. So, and I'm a financial consultant. So I'm always looking for business.
Okay.
So everybody is working. So we're busy.
Yeah, and that's pretty busy. And they always say if you want something done, ask a busy person. What has the response been like in the I know the Massey stores are aboard, but what has the response been like? And what would you like immediately now if I ask you, what would you like the public? How would you like the public to respond to this program, or what would you say?
Yeah, what we would love is there are a lot of people asking about how can I volunteer, how can I help? Because the information that we do on the back end of the system in terms of organizing deliveries and stuff it's sensitive. Massey doesn't want people to know this store is donating this and that sort of thing. So we have to be very careful about that information. But in terms of how you can help us, we really want to raise money for a chill van. That's our goal. We're going to be getting a lot of produce over the next few months, and we foresee that we will need a chill van. And that is something that we are either going to have to crowdfund or look at other ways to get donations. So if people are interested, they should get in touch at info@nourishtt.co or go on our website, nourishtt.com, where you can sign up. We have a Facebook page, which is Nourish TT. So, we've got lots of different ways to get in touch with us. So that would be awesome to get some financial support. And even just spreading the word as well, because, not everybody has the means to give money, but just actually spreading the word about Nourish, getting the word around so that we get that support that we
because
need.
Besides the Massey Group, there are lots of other places and lots of other, vegetable markets. And so, sometimes you go to these greengrocers and they have lots of food there and people are not going to buy it. And, you can always donate it too. I don't think everybody is like you and me who go looking for the spotted one.
Well, we definitely want more food companies on board, and we would also need charities.
So do you have to be a bona fide registered food company to be on Nourish TT? I mean, I'm talking about, for example, the green market, the farmers market people, the people who have their greengrocers. For example, if you go through the Arangways main road, there's so many little stalls there with a lot of vegetables and I dare say at the end of it, I'm sure there's a big wastage.
Well, we would probably, because those markets get food from distributors. So it may be easier from the farmers and the distributors, because a lot of the goods, some of the goods that they sell is imported goods and not necessarily local. So we would probably want to link with the food distributors directly because, they would obviously experience the mass waste as opposed to, the retail levels.
But in terms of connecting to the smaller groups, we actually, NAMDEVCO came to our launch and they want us to present to the community and to get buy-in from them so we can look at targeting, using NAMDEVCO as sort of a collection point for all of that sort of surplus perishable food. So
that is really amazing, and the both of you are really, really, really amazing. The four of you, I know the other two are also very, very involved. What's their names again? Sorry.
So Stephen Mudu is our software developer. He's our chief technology officer, and Nisha Rambarak.
And all very, very, very qualified, doing well, and still finding the time, to do work within our community. And so, well, I want to thank you all so much. I know we are going to go on now to a clip, and you can probably give us a little quick idea what the clip is going to be about.
This clip is really the food company, but it introduces Krista. Krista speaks a little bit about Nourish and what we do, and then we just kind of given the public an idea of the food companies involved and how so far we have been able to make a difference, the food companies and the charities actually, and how we've been able to make a difference and support the community through our efforts at Nourish.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to go on to that clip now. And Krista and Joanne, Krista Santos and Joanna Nelson, two dynamic young people in our community. Thank you so very much and keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
You're putting us on the international page right now. So thank you. So we're going to end with a clip on Nourish TT at this time. Thank you so much for viewing.
We founded Nourish because we realized that there were two interlinked problems in our country, hunger and food waste, and that by addressing one, we could alleviate the other.
We often give food to charities close by, but they can't always take all the food that we have to give. That's where Nourish comes in. They provide a new outlet for us to give food to charities across the country, not just nearby. And what's great about it is that all is done behind a screen on the shop floor.
Using Nourish is really simple. You simply log on and you post the items you want to donate. We can see in live time which items are ordered by the charities, and we get notified from Nourish when they're coming for the packages, so you can actually prepare them for when they arrive. I feel really proud that we're helping to feed people in our communities.
We do the delivery service for Nourish. We manage these deliveries using the Nourish app. The app is very easy to use. It allows both the charities as well as the donors to track deliveries. And of course, it allows donors to be notified when a delivery has been successfully completed.
We're always looking at ways to cut down on our food waste. So when Nourish approached us, we were intrigued to learn more. Since we've been involved, we've realized that the system does work and we can eliminate waste in our stores. There's no reason why, in time, it can't be done across other sectors of the food industry. We're very proud to be involved in pioneering the drive to reduce food waste.
We take care of children ranging from 1 to 10 years of age and provide 3 square meals a day as well as snacks for the children in our care. The well-being of our children is paramount, and a key part of that is providing healthy meals each and every day, which they enjoy eating. Nourish provides a lot of the food that the children already like to eat and that we like cooking for them. So it's a big help for us, and we're so happy to be involved in it.
As a community, we feed hundreds of people every day. Every day, right here in the center, we feed a lot of people. Well, that's through our coffee shop, and people come and buy that, and praise God. We feed 4 people all day, every day. In many of our ministries, we have 24/7 homes, and also like in Duncan Street, we feed 150 people every day, breakfast and lunch. So, we are really in the feeding business. Fresh food, every day we cook. So Nourish coming in at this time, especially in this time of recession, has really been a tremendous help to us. And, it has been a blessing. I thank God for this creativity that's sparked in somebody's mind, to bring about such an organization. It has really been beautiful. And another thing that is very interesting is how we get the food. I remember in the old days when restaurants wanted to serve people the food that was left over, we would have to go there and collect it in the middle of the night and at different times. But through technology, it's so amazing. Everything on the website, we go in, we check up what's happening, what they have to offer, and we decide, we say, okay, we can use this, we can use that, and make arrangements, and the food is delivered. Absolutely amazing. Thank God for Nourish.